Hello Ka-OTR, this is Migs and throwback episode muna tayo dahil na-interview natin si Kevin and Selina Dagdag-Alas noong first week of January. So guys, if you're here on YouTube on OTR with Migs Bustos, baka alam niyo po o baka hindi nyo na nalaman na yung Facebook Live ko po I have a co-host and that is Cesca with Off the Record with Migs and Cesca. So na-interview natin si Kevin and Selina about their experiences sa PBA bubble, kung kamusta ba yung kanilang first months of marriage, at syempre, ang kanilang love story. So here is Kevin and Selina Alas. Hello Ka-OTR, this is Off the Record with Migs
and Cesca.
Kasi itong dalawang guests natin tonight, talagang kilalang kilala sa mundo ng basketball. They recently got married, but before we introduce them, we'd like to say hi to everybody. Welcome to Off the Record with Migs and Cesca.
So these two, I'm so excited to have them on the show. One is someone that I love working with. Every time I see this person, her smile is just so infectious. She's one of the sweetest persons I've ever met. And the other is, a name and a face that we are all so familiar with because he has actually carved his own path. He belongs to a basketball family, but he has made a name for himself and he made sure na kahit na pamilya niya kilala sa basketball, mas makikilala natin siya. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to Off the Record, Kevin Alas and Selina Dagdag-Alas. Yes, Mr. and Mrs. Alas. Hello, newlywed.
Idol. Hi, Selina. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. All right. So, kumustahin lang namin kayo. How has the whole... Actually, kakamustahin namin kayo. How was your holidays? How was your Christmas? How was your New Year? First, as a married couple.
First, when we got married, 2 weeks before, 2 weeks after, parang we're about to enter the bubble. So, kumbaga, hindi namin masyadong experience yung buhay mag-asawa. So, we had to wait pa yung pag-uwi ni Selina from the bubble, December na yun. So, kumbaga na-delay yung pag-experience namin as husband and wives. Pero yun naman, masaya naman ngayon because we get to experience parang paano buhay mag-asawa talaga.
Right. And I think that's one of the reasons why our Christmas and our New Year celebrations were extra joyful. Just because parang it's the first time na naramdaman namin na kasal na kami. Kasi after getting married, we had to enter the bubble right away. And, we didn't really get to have that honeymoon stage. So we were very thankful for how our Christmas and New Year celebrations went. How are you guys?
Oh my gosh, sobrang na-miss ko yung face ni Selina. I used to see Selina's face kasi during the games, at least nakikita pa kami. And then obviously 2020 just everything came to a stop. But now, I'm actually glad that we have you on the show because Kevin already mentioned this. A couple of weeks after you guys got married, both of you embarked on an experience na not every couple can say. I think you're the only married couple that got to enter the PBA bubble together for work. Pero syempre, iba yung trabaho ninyo. Kevin was on the court. Selina, you were doing courtside. Because I know na syempre tinanong yung mga courtside reporters kung sino yung willing pumasok sa bubble. 2.5 months is not a joke. Medyo matagal siya. But at least, you guys, well, obviously, since Kevin is playing for a team and you were doing courtside, did you guys talk about this na parang, sige, Kevin, syempre, no choice. Selina, you were given a choice. Did you guys, how are you guys able to discuss na parang, sige, okay lang na papasok ka rin sa bubble, Selina, kahit na, let's say, hindi umabot sa later stages ng conference yung team ni Kevin, may iiwan ka pa rin doon. What was that discussion like?
Well, as you mentioned, Kevin didn't really have a choice. So I'll say this story from my point of view. But I remember that time we were just newly married, and for those of you guys who don't know, we were building a home together, and there were a lot of things that needed to be monitored. So I expected that Kevin wouldn't be going inside the bubble. I would be going inside the bubble rather, and I wouldn't have to. And then Ate Jo texted me like a few months before entering the bubble. So I started really praying about it. And I started asking God for like wisdom and discernment. Should I enter the bubble? Should I go with Kevin? Or should I just stay home? Because I know that the work is very daunting, also very demanding. And Cesca knows this. Like, you know, you're going to have to socialize a lot. You're going to have to really draw out stories. So even on days you're feeling not very social or you're very introverted, you're really going to have to put yourself out of your comfort zone. So I really prayed about it. And then, nang papalapit na yung bubble, I started thinking, you know what? I can't really serve Kevin by being at home lang. I can't really be a good wife to him, or, you know, I can't really be useful to him. I can't really use my time productively. Lalo na since sila Coach Louie are here naman and they volunteered to help with like monitoring if ever the house needs to be supervised and such. So naisip ko na maybe, you know, I should enter. I think it would be a good season for me to grow. Not just as a courtside reporter, but also as Kevin's wife, because I'd be able to cheer him on more there. And he really wanted me there. So, yeah, to cut the long story short, yep, that's why I went inside the bubble.
Kevin, Idol, gusto ko lang tanungin, no? Syempre, yung days leading up to your marriage, and then syempre, well, congrats sa inyong marriage. And pero syempre, nagdaan pa yung COVID, ng mga ECQ, ng mga March, April. Curious lang ako as a fan, basketball fan, and looking from the outside, looking in, sino yung parang pinaka-close or kuya mo na talaga nagpayo sa'yo about marriage, about taking on this new journey, tapos syempre, nasa bubble pa kayo together?
Siguro, growing up naman, parang role model ko is my dad eh. But siguro parang going to marriage, parang may mga kuya naman ako like si Kuya Larry, ko na-share na parang we know naman how good of a father and husband he is. Eh. So, yun parang tips and advices from him parang very helpful sa akin na yun nga, I know it's too early to say but off to a good start naman eh kasi yun nga parang it's good to be mentored by people who are who are good fathers and who are good husbands eh.
And of course, we actually already have comments. We have to say hi to Gad Ferreras. Naalala ko, yung kiss nila during one of the courtside reports sa PBA, nag-trending pa. Was this the time na nag-player of the game si Kevin? I believe si Kevin. Tapos nag-player of the game si Kevin and then si Selina yung nag-interview sa kanya. May kiss pa at the end of the interview. Lahat kami nagsigawan. Alright? Then Julian Lapid, hi Captain. And then Lyle Agnes, I'm really kilig right now. To everyone watching, kung may mga questions or comments kayo for Kevin and Selina, please send them over. But of course, I do have to ask the couple. Maraming, syempre iniisip nila, uy, husband and wife magkasama sa bubble. Maybe ito na yung parang working honeymoon nila na lagi sila magkasama, but we know na hindi yon yung nangyari. I'm sure Kevin had to stay with the team. Selina, the courtside reporters had their own rooms. Can you explain to the people watching kung paano nangyari yung sistema as husband and wife in the bubble?
Okay, so as husband and wife, yung setup, ang nangyari nun, kasi Kevin entered the bubble earlier kasi the players needed to go inside earlier. Tapos tayong production. So our team, Cesca, like the production, the reporters, we all entered a few weeks later. So when I entered the bubble, I needed to be swabbed and then we needed to be quarantined. So si Kevin, gustong-gusto nang parang mag-pass by, kumatok sa room ko. Sabi ko, Diyos ko, baka hindi pwede. Eh, may penalty yon. Pag lumabag ka sa rules ng bubble, may penalty ka ng 100K.
Oh, wow.
Super kuripot pa naman. So sabi ko kay Kev, no, don't. Lalo na kasi I'm a goody two shoes. So sabi ko baka may magsumbong. Or you know, like, sobrang praning ko nun. Tapos, nung matapos ng quarantine ko and I can finally go out, Kevin wanted to meet up and see me. But then, you know, I was telling him, well, you know, I kind of want to be like a big girl here. Like, I'm independent and professional and stuff like that. So in my head, I'm not Mrs. Alas here. I'm a reporter. So she was saying pa, but can I say hi to you from afar? parang nag-joke pa siya ng gano'n. But then in the end, mga after 1 week sa bubble, di rin ako nakatiis. So we met up in the lobby. Because we would walk outside sometimes, like nagpapasyal kami at night. And then, during his game days, lalo na when it's a hectic week for him, because you know how in the bubble we have a collapsed format, right? So on days that He has 3 games a week. We try not to meet up on those weeks just because I really want him to be able to capitalize on his recovery, on resting, on his rehab. Like, we definitely don't want him to get any injuries. So, yun yung naging setup namin. On weeks na he had a busy schedule, we don't meet up. But siguro in the bubble, we were able to have many dates or many pasyals, mga
Ice cream.
mga ice cream. We were able to manage to do that 8 times before he exited the bubble. So, yeah.
So yeah, yun. Doon, medyo...
Ikaw,
medyo
Kevin.
mahigpit kasi yung, nila, yung rules. Yun nga, sabi nga, parang before entering the bubble, meron, yun nga, 100,000 fine sa mga magiging mga pasaway or mahuhuling, but yun naman, props to PBA kasi na-implement naman yung, yung rules doon sa bubble, na wala, yung very, very safe yung environment kasi parang sa hotel compound walang nakakapasok, walang nakakalabas, so it's good. So yun yung sabi ko siya, parang huwag tayo matakot kasi naman yan, safe naman yung environment natin. So ayun, very blessed kasi yun na nga, as what Check said, na parang ako lang yung may kasamang asawa doon so advantage niya yun para sa akin kasi baga yung ibang players of course parang may mental baggage na iniisip na hindi nila kasama yung girlfriend nila, asawa nila, yung mga anak nila. But for me, talagang very, very blessed ako na parang naglalaro ako doon na wala na akong extra iniisip.
Cute nyo.
Selina, I just want to ask, I'm very curious. What's it like? Alam mo, ganda on how they spend quality time together. And sabi nyo nga, sila lang literal, sila lang yung couple na nandun sa loob ng PBA bubble. Selina, I'm very curious, what's it like marrying into a basketball family?
Oh, it's a good question. What's it like marrying into a basketball? Parang masaya because every time we guys have get-togethers or nagdi-dinner kami, mas kasabay sila Coach Louie and Kevin's mom and his brothers. You guys just have a lot of things to talk about. Like, there's an extensive amount of topics to speak about. And also, our friends, we have common friends. We know common coaches. We know common players. And I feel like that really just enriches the family bonding. Yun nga, kasi ang dami naming common, na mga kakilala. Tapos pati yung example, the game that just happened, or the game that they just lost, or that they just won, and I covered it. Parang talagang mas napag-uusapan siya from a reporter's perspective, from a coach's perspective, from a player's perspective. So, that's one of the things I love about it. I remember also Kevin's mom would say that because it's a basketball family, it's like basketball never really stops. Like, you talk about basketball breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So, for sure, all basketball fans out there, lalo na tayong mga Pinoy, sobrang hilig natin sa basketball. Sobrang saya ng conversations. You don't just talk about the news, but you talk about the PBA, NCAA, UAAP, NBA, lahat na.
And I know, like, I've met the first person in the Alas family that I met was Kevin's dad, Coach Louie, and someone actually just tagged me in a video from the NCAA finals back in 2003 when I was still doing courtside for San Sebastian, and they went up against Letran. And I remember this so clearly. Even if I was assigned to San Sebastian, after Letran beat Baste in the finals, Coach Louie walked up to me. He asked me pa, gusto mo ba sumama sa celebration sa Letran? I was like, okay. Okay, Coach. No, but Kev, your dad is one of the kindest, warmest, nicest coaches out there, and I can only imagine what he's like with a daughter-in-law when it comes to Selina as well. But also, we have comments here naman. Si Tirso might have been asked already, but we'll ask anyway. How did the love story of Kevin and Selina start? Did it start in the PBA or way earlier than that?
Good question. Si Kevin. Si Kevin.
Si
Kevin's perspective.
Pag ako nagkwento kasi nung unang nakita ko ni Selina na in love sa akin.
Hindi totoo yan, guys. Matagal na siyang baliw na baliw sa akin. So for him, I started way before PBA.
Yeah, of course, napapanood ko na si Selina no UAAP days pa lang. But syempre, I started in the PBA. When she was covering one of my games noon, normally kasi dumadating ako sa game super early eh. Para kasi I wanna shoot around parang earlier than everyone eh. Kasi I feel that's advantage for me. Then pagdating ko ng MOA Arena yun eh, nakita ko si Selena parang wow, ang aga niya doon. So, parang I just said something, wow, ang aga mo ah. Then, syempre from Ateneo, I have teammates from Ateneo nun. So, tinanong ko agad si Wami Chongson nun na, syempre from Ateneo. Uy, pare, ano ba, ang ganda ni Selena. May boyfriend ba yan? And then sinabi, pakilala kita, walang boyfriend yan. So, it started from there, but kept messaging si Lina nun, hindi pa nagre-reply nung una yan eh. Parang hindi ako pinapansin yan eh. Then yun, after mga 1 month to 2 months, nagre-reply na rin sa wakas.
Grabe. Tagal.
Selena, ba't ka naman napareply? Sabi nga na-delay yung reply.
Yeah, hindi ko talaga siya pinapansin na mga 1 or 2 months. Because, you know naman, diba, some players, they have a stigma or warningan ka. So, hindi ko siya masyadong nire-replyan nun. But, I remember there was this one time, we got to, in one of the rare times that I actually spoke to him, we got to talking about how God wants us to date. Parang ganon. Because I'm a practicing Christian and such. And then I told him about this book, Boy Meets Girl. It's basically written by man who wrote down, like a pastor, who wrote down how God wants us to pursue courtship, ganon. Tapos nag-stop na mag-reply sa akin si Kevin. So sabi ko, shucks, baka ayaw ni Kevin sa relihiyosa or sa ano. So sabi ko, okay, well, not worth it. I guess, you know, baliwala na, hindi siya nag-reply. Tapos biglang, after mga siguro 5 hours that night, he responds, but he sends me a picture of the book I was talking about. So, kaya ko siya nag-reply kasi pumunta siya sa bookstore, binila niya yung book, yung how God, about yung godly dating, Christian dating. And then sabi niya pa yung line niya nun, I'm gonna finish this book for you. Tapos hindi ko siya nire-reply kasi baka naman, alam mo yun, yabang lang, like that. Tapos I was surprised because for the next 2 weeks, he would send me the summary of every chapter. And then on the final page, when he finished the final page, paminsan hindi ko pa siya replyan pag isasend niya sa akin yung summary. So on the final page, sabi niya, by the way, I'm willing to court you this way. Na, did change your mind? Ganon. So, ayun, kaya ako napa-reply. Kasi I honestly didn't expect him to finish the book, but he did.
Ang galing.
Yeah, ayun.
Cesca.
First book niya pala yun. First book
Kiligers.
Kiligers.
Kiligers tayo doon. Sige, Ches.
Oh my gosh. Okay, wait, sorry. This is not, basta, I also just need to ask Selena and Kevin kung ano yung involvement ni Pepito the Pug sa engagement nyo. Because I know, nagpaalam si Kevin sa aso mo.
You.
Gusto ko sama si Pipito sa Taiwan nun eh. Kaso hindi pwede. So nagpaalam na lang ako sa kanya, pinakita yung ring sa kanya. Dinilaan lang ako. So yeah.
So, yun na yung blessing ni Pepito the Pug.
Yes. Yun lang yung blessing ni Pipito sa akin.
Pero ang galing, no, Cesca? Ano, kakaiba, ano, ang galing, parang it's not your call, it's moves, ika nga, pero ang galing because that shows the commitment, diba? Yes. And that shows the intention. Ang galing. Kevin, diba, kapag, for keeps, alam mo nga, for keeps, kasi syempre, kapag strong ang faith, and maybe, Kevin, that's when you knew na siya na talaga, siya na yung the one, tama ba?
Oo, kasi yun nga, parang, as I've said, parang, of course, na napapanood ko na si Selena before sa Ateneo, but yun nga, when I got to know her more, parang wow, grabe yung faith niya. At the same time, parang nalalaman yung ugali niya, super nice, super kind, super sweet. So, talagang, you know na it's for keeps na talaga, this is the person you wanna marry talaga, spend your life, the rest of your life with.
Okay, we have more comments and si Lyle Agnes is asking, when is your church wedding po? Because you got married civilly. Was this in your home?
No, we got married in San Juan City Hall, but the reception, the gathering, it was in our home. So that was yung September 8, 2020. That was just a few months ago. Right? And then yung church wedding namin originally, na-move siya to Feb. But given that there's no vaccine yet in our country,
Mhm.
no mass vaccines being produced yet or being given out, we decided to move it further to sometime on November or October. Lalo na kasi we really, really wanted for the oldest and the youngest members of our family to be in our celebration. And so far, the protocols of the churches and the venues don't allow that yet. So, pag 60 years old and above ka, hindi ka makakapunta. And if you're also young, there's a certain age, hindi ka rin makakapunta. Eh, of course, we wanted talaga all of our loved ones to be there. We wanted to have our nieces as flower girls, etc. Of course, we wanted our parents or grandparents there as well. So, yeah, we decided to move it again for a second time, and hopefully this time it pushes through God's grace.
Now, before we move to our next question, shoutout lang tayo syempre sa mga ka-OTR, sa mga nanonood sa atin tonight. Of course, Lyle Agnes, Julian Lapid, Justin Baliste, happy birthday to you. Kay Kuya Ryan Bahala, and at the same time, Gilbert Datun, kilig na kilig daw sila sa inyong love story. Ito question for Selina. Selina, how does it feel covering a game of your husband, especially if he gets to be player of the game and you're interviewing him?
Wow. Well, so far, guys, I've only covered a few games of NLEX. I think two games of NLEX. And the second time, yun yung nag-player of the game, si Kevin. So, I remember that time, hindi pa naman kami sobrang attached sa isa't isa nun. So, I was very happy for him. I was excited for him. I was proud of him. But then as our relationship progressed, I think the higher ups of TV5 decided that I should refrain from covering Kevin's game, which is also a really good thing for me. In fact, for me, it was a relief, friend. Kasi parang baka masyado akong invested sa game if I'm covering it. And, I want to be able to be professional as much as possible. And for me rin, parang it would be awkward naman if I'm covering his game and then I interview the players of the other team, pero they know that, secretly, they all know who I'm rooting for. So I guess it was for my own good as well. But to answer that question, I was very grateful to have covered it those two times. It was very exciting, very thrilling, extra exciting actually. And that's something that I'd always remember.
And then, Kevin, I mean, we all know, any basketball fan knows the injuries that you've had to overcome.
Yeah.
And you are an amazing example of resilience and tenacity. Kasi hindi ka talagang papayag na ganun lang matatapos eh. Pinakita mo kung paano bumalik at kung paano makabalik from an injury. And can you tell us about your journey? Was there ever a time na you felt discouraged? And what was Selina's role as well in your recovery?
Yun my first ACL injury was March 2018. So game 5 ng semifinals yun against Magnolia. So of course coming into that game parang feeling confident, of course playing well at the same time, then 40 seconds to the game pa lang parang maling sidestep lang. Then yun, the rest is history, na injury ako noon first ACL ko. Si Selina nun, actually, medyo na-late nung game na yon. Then, medyo worried na rin siya nung pagdating niya. I don't remember exactly what time siya dumating nun, but nung na-injury ako nun, parang first quarter pa lang nun, nakita ko na siya pumasok na agad siya sa dugout nun. Of course, she was worried about me, na parang, yun na nga, bihira lang ako ma-injury ng ganun before na talagang I was in pain talaga, first time ko na-experience yung ganung pain eh. Then yun, of course, the journey was really tough because siguro ACL is one of the most feared injury ng bawat athletes eh. So, but yun, umiyak ako after knowing na ACL yung injury ko. When Doc Anlas told me na parang umiyak ako, parang sabi ko, sipag ko naman, I've been working out, been taking good care of myself. But yeah, it was a journey na parang, to be honest, I really enjoyed. Then after 9 months, I recovered na. Parang it was the strongest parang feeling sa buong buhay ko. Talagang never worked out buong buhay ko na ganun kalakas. Then, parang all Filipino nun, parang 5 games pa lang into the conference. Feb 2019 naman. So, kumbaga, na-ACL ulit ako nun. So, na-ACL ako 2 beses in less than a year. So, I think that was the toughest moment sa buong buhay ko so far kasi yun na nga parang sa isip-isip ko nun parang sobrang sipag ko naman, lahat ng workout wala akong minis, talagang I can say parang ako yung perfect attendance nun sa rehab ko nun talagang sobrang sipag ko nun. But yun, siguro with God's grace talagang dun din nasubukan yung faith ko at the same time parang si Lino was really there kasi lalo ni second ACL ko, sobrang init ng ulo palagi ko noon talagang kasi sabi ko bakit nangyari sa akin to na parang sobrang sipag ko naman, di naman ako nagpupuyat, di naman ako nagbibisyo and everything. But yun, si Lino was there na to remind me na parang magtiwala lang sa plano ni God and at the same time, mas napalapit ako kay God. Of course, your question kung na-discourage ba ako, yes, I was really discouraged nung second ACL ko kasi imagine 9 months ulit ako mag-rehab doing the same thing all over again na parang wala pang 1 year, ganun ulit gagawin ko araw-araw. Gonna do same program, same rehab. So parang, of course, there are days na parang tinatamad ako gawin to, parang shocks, ito na naman, gagawin ko na naman to. Then the next day, ito na naman, gagawin ko na naman. But yun nga, parang I'm really blessed. Parang there was a time na lang parang I felt na parang it's time to wake up na I have to do these things na parang of course, may mga binago ako sa mga routine ko and everything that I think really changed me as a player. So, yun. Of course, malaking pasasalamat kay Selina because talagang through may ups and downs, talagang nandun siya, nakasuporta lang sa akin na talagang toughest journey ng buhay ko. Mainit ulo ko, nagagalit ako, but she was always there understanding me. Nandun lang sa side ko palagi.
Selina, I can see it in your eyes that it's parang you wanna dig deeper. What was it like from your perspective?
Sorry? What was it like in my perspective?
Yeah.
Well, for me, I would definitely say that the second one was the more heartbreaking one because the first one, parang we were very optimistic pa about it. In fact, even Kevin was kidding around pa, even when he was about to enter the surgery room and such. The second one was heartbreaking for us just because we know how much Kevin worked so hard to get back into the game and to be, as he mentioned earlier, the strongest he's ever been. So that was definitely heartbreaking just because it was super unexpected for us. We didn't see that one coming. And for Kevin, he was mentioning earlier how he felt mainit yung ulo niya. He was crankier when he was doing the rehab and the therapy. I would say that's partially true, but I also felt that that was the time he also drew closest to God. And so I would always, like looking back, I would always be grateful for the 2 ACLs of Kevin, not just because it made him a better player, a better basketball player, but it also made him into a man after God's own heart. So I was very, very proud to see his spiritual growth. I honestly don't think that he would be the husband that he is today if he didn't go through that second ACL, because that definitely, I felt that definitely developed his patience, his strength of character, even his gentleness, in voicing out even just the littlest hurts and such. So I definitely saw him mature during that stage of his life. So though it was difficult for the both of us, because we were both trying to weather another storm, it was definitely also a huge blessing. Kaya, yun.
Okay, I'm sorry. Like, I love listening to guys talk. And can I just say that every time nagsasalita sila, either nakatingin si Selina kay Kevin or nakatingin si Kevin kay Selina. And it's just, you guys are just too cute. But also, we know that Selina is one of the sweetest people out there. Like, every time she enters the room, like, hi, Check. She's just this warm hug that envelopes you as soon as you enter a room. But I have to ask, Kevin, paano magalit si Selina? I feel like when she gets mad, it's like watching a kitten go meow, meow, meow.
Well, paano ba?
Baka may reenactment pa to, ha?
Ito lang naman. Siguro like a normal person pag nagalit, but the good thing about Celine is pag yung nagalit siya, parang mabilis siyang mag-guilty na parang, oh shucks, nagalit ako, magsasorry agad siya, sorry for getting mad, sorry for being cranky, ganyan. So, ayun na, kasi I think it's normal naman for people to get mad into ano. Pero the good thing about her is how quick she realizes na parang, nagalit siya or uminit ulo niya or something.
So, parang nagsasorry.
Yeah, sorry agad.
Ito naman ang tanong ko, Selina. All of us are married. And syempre sa mga first months or first stages ng marriage, talagang may adjustment period. Siguro you're adjusting on how you're living with each other, yung habits, yung mga normal na ginagawa. Ano yung mga napansin niyo sa isa't isa? Sino yung mga mahilig maglinis? Sino yung mahilig magtupi? Or any household chores? Selina.
Oh my gosh. Well, Kev surprisingly is a very neat person. So I'm thankful for that. Pero napansin ko rin, he's puro utos. Not to me, pero alam mo yan, like even the little things, nag-uutos siya. So I guess I'm very grateful that we have help at home. Yun lang yung napansin ko sa kanya. Because me, I guess I'm a little bit more independent. So that's what I noticed with Gab. Although he's still, one thing I'm grateful for is he's still equally maalaga. So even if we're having dinner at home, kasi syempre before magde-date kayo, diba, he'll offer you the last piece or he'll give you the last piece, he'll open the door for you. Parang, I was happy to note na even when we transferred na and we're living in the same house, even if it's just a simple dinner that I cooked, he would still offer me the last piece and he would still open the door for me, even though not necessarily because this is our house. I can open the door now on my own. He still does those little things for me. But yeah, he's mautos.
Ikaw, Kevin, si Selina, ano napansin mo?
Ano ba?
Ikaw, Kev.
Ayaw nagpapautos.
I really don't like kasi I grew up independent. I was like, I do it on my own, you do it on your own also. So,
No, joke lang. Siguro yung how OC and neat she is. Kasi parang, kunyari ako mag-aayos ako ng bed. Syempre, nasanay ako pagising ko parang bara-bara na ayos lang eh. Parang uulitin niya pa para lang maging maayos yung parang hindi maayos yung pagkaayos ko.
So I show him how to fold the duvet properly. I show him how to fluff the pillow.
Guilty yata mga lalaki dyan.
Oo.
Guilty yata kami dyan.
Yung mga gamit ilalagay ko kunyari sa table na hindi nakaayos yung uulitin niya pa dapat ganito yung so OC sa mga bagay, which is good naman kasi pag tinignan mo very organized yung mga gamit namin.
Oh, tsaka si Kev pala. Oh my gosh, I just remembered. Pag meron siyang maduming damit, hindi niya lalagay sa hamper right away. So I would be a bit about it at the start. Like it's literally everywhere. Sometimes it's on the dining table. So minsan pag meron kaming guest, kinukuha isa-isa yung mga madudumi yung damit kasi he did not put it in the hamper. So ayun.
Nakakalimutan ko palagi.
Alright. I really wish the show could go on forever because I really love talking to you guys, and I'm sure our audience loves hearing you guys talk about each other as well. But before we do wrap the show, we would like to know as well, ano yung pinaka valuable as newlyweds? What was the most valuable advice that both of you got before you entered marriage? Na you realized while it's still early na you really have to take it to heart na kailangan yung maalala every single day?
You want me to go first?
Lalim na tanong ko.
Yun yung pang-ending natin.
Guys, kinakalabit ako ni Kevin. So alam na ako yung gusto niyang mauna. Hindi ako sa likod. I would definitely say the best advice I got entering into the marriage was that a marriage rather, like being husband and wife is also the best opportunity for you guys to mirror Christ to each other. So every time you respond in gentleness when you're tempted to get mad, or every time you're tempted to be impatient when you could have extended the extra patience, God gets the glory in those instances where you choose to act the godly way. So I know I fail at it and I have such a long way to go, but I think that was the best advice I got, that just the ability to be able to mirror Christ to your spouse is really the best gift you can give to God as well. And it's the best way to glorify God as well in your marriage. And the second one would be that I got this from my pastor's wife, that the wife sets the mood of the house. So usually if the mother or the wife is joyful or masiyahin, usually the mood in the house is very joyful and the kids are also masiyahin. They grew up to be joyful kids. And I've seen this to be true in the lives of so many children because I was a preschool teacher before. So, just trying to be mindful of my joy, like keeping my joy in check. And also just trying to mirror Christ in a marriage setting. That was the best advice I got. That's it.
For me, siguro, dami nagbibigay ng advice so di ko na maalala kung kanino galing. Siguro, how you treat your wife should be yung paano mo siya tinatrato nung nanliligaw ka pa lang. Yun nga, like what Selina said, yung pagbukas mo ng pinto, giving the last piece of food, of how you treat her, like kumbaga parang like a queen. Kasi yun nga, parang as the old saying, happy wife, happy life, di ba? So, I really believe in that na pag masaya yung wife mo, masaya din yung buhay mo. So, ayun.
Alright, ang ganda. Cesca, ang dami nating mga magagandang napulot na aral and soundbites from Selina and Kevin. And I'm sure yung mga commenters, mga ka-OTR natin really enjoyed this episode as they got to know more of Kevin and Selina. So lastly, Kevin and Selina, bati naman sa fans, sa mga supporters. Kevin?
Sorry? Can you
want to greet the fans?
Bati sa fans.
Oh, message to the fans. Sorry, you guys were cutting a bit. Okay.
Sorry.
Go
ahead.
First, okay, sorry. Thank you, Check and Migs, for having us in your show. We really enjoyed, and sa mga nanonood ng Off the Record, thank you for watching, and God bless us all, and maraming salamat.
Thank you so much, Check and Migs, for having us in your show. We had a lot of fun. I know we can learn so much from the two of you about marriage. We can learn so much more. So dapat atakama yung nagtatanong sa inyong dalawa. But thank you so much for making us feel so welcome. And thank you also to all the fans who watched and who were interested enough to know about their love story. Maraming salamat sa lahat ng support niya through all of our ups and downs. We're very, very grateful. So thanks, you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kevin. Thank you so much, Selina. It's so nice seeing your faces again. Oh my gosh.
Oh, same, Check. I missed you.
I miss you too.
Is a polar bear?
He's outside. Kasi pag siya yun nandito sa harap ng camera, siya na yung magiging star. So later na siya.
Oh.
Okay, so maraming salamat for Selina and Kevin Alas for my partner. For my partner, Cesca Liton-Cala. This has been Off the Record with Migs and Cesca. And see you guys in the next episode. Once again, Happy New Year to all.